Bobi Wine's bodyguards and NUP activists have continued to be denied bail because of the failed justice system. Despite all that, they are still strong. In fact, one of them, known as Mugume Gaddafi, came out and said these statements. Here's the tape.
Mwana wesanga mpologoma jina wayo kujimumba tatiri rufa abantu mwana abategeera etasi tuwereko obezite mu kwa mwani eno si yafe na wano kugenda paka
Gaddafi. First of all, prison is not a very good thing to be in. But to see a young man being strong despite being in prison, it gives a new dawn, it gives a new hope to Ugandans. The justice system in Uganda was captured, and it is the reason as to why the system is still picking people to take them to prison on misdemeanors, on small issues. I keep on telling people that the judiciary has something to play in the politics of our nation. Every country that has grown is democracy. The judiciary has taken part. In Uganda, you have a history where a chief justice was killed, Benedicto Chiwanuka. We have a country where leaders in the region, like General Lumu, were killed. He was from the northern Uganda. They put their back to build democracy, which is being mocked by the enemy regime. Tell me if, whenever a person is arrested for political reason, is given a bail, without even stepping in a prison. Tell me the reason as to why the system would continue arresting these people. But every time the system arrests someone and is brought to the courts and remanded with the due process, this is what we get. Okay? And under Owinyi-Dolo, our judiciary is crumbling. The judiciary was taken off by cadres. In the recent appointments which were made by the president, majority of those people have always come out to confess that the NRM cadres. So the judiciary is being filled by NRM cadres, which is unfortunate. In fact, on an X handle, Bobi Wine came out to say, and I quote, "Shameful news coming from Masaka, where a court has denied the bail application of Comrade Eddie Mutwe, Achille Chivumbi, Mugume Gaddafi, and Wakabi Smart, all members of our security team. The excuse that the charges they face are too serious to allow them regain their freedom. Like countless other political prisoners, these comrades stand falsely accused of laughable offenses, including aggravated robbery and assault that they allegedly committed during a burial I attended in May 2024. The four are accused ridiculously of having stolen a phone and a sweater using knives and sticks. The script is familiar. We saw it in the ruling on Dr. Kizebe's bail application. We saw it most recently in Yasin Machete's. On each of these occasions, the court denied bail on the pretext that the comrades are going to be subjected to a speedy trial. Now, this time in Masaka, the same tried lie is being repeated. Owing to recent social media posts by dictator Museveni's son, we believe that all these rulings have been choreographed to ensure that none of these comrades regain their freedom under any circumstance. And no matter what the law says, Eddie Mutwe and the group are known and have never been criminals. Like others, they are just political prisoners jailed for nothing else but their loyalty to the struggle for justice and freedom. We demand for their immediate release and call upon all Ugandans at home and abroad to raise their voices against this blatant abuse and weaponization of the law to settle political scores. Like I have repeatedly said, and like history has always shown, no amount of persecution will stop a people determined to be free." That's a tweet which was done by Bobi Wine, and he continued to also put up these pictures. So you continue to see that Bobi Wine is coming out to advocate for justice and freedom in Uganda. Yet our own courts of law are being victims of poor leadership. Museveni has been successfully taken over institutions from the parliament. When the Speaker of Parliament comes out to say that everything that's brought by executive must pass now to the judiciary, you won't tell me that a person like Mugume Gaddafi and Eddie Mutwe has spent several months in jail without a bail hearing because of political reasons. I don't want to talk about the merits and demerits of the case because I can be charged by sub judice, but the judiciary in its entirety must start. First of all, lawyers and judges come out to say, one, that justice delayed is justice denied. These people's justice have been delayed for a long period of time. There are some people who are charged in a court martial. It's coming to the fear. They have never been remanded, yet they still and they are not. They have never been given bail. What do you want us to think? All the principles of fair hearing have been broken because of politics. Judges and magistrates should wake up. Here in Uganda, I see, for example, in the case of Kizza Besigye, he came out to say that he doesn't want the current judge, Justice Baguma, to be in his case, that he should relieve himself of this case. And the judge refused. Okay? Under fair hearing, if I feel that I may not be given justice and I apply for another judge, why do you still remain in my case? It may result to smelling a rat. If indeed you want to give justice, relinquish yourself from the case and I get another judge. But the judge to say that he's going to remain in a case, it is something that it must be addressed. In fact, it must be a law that if a person doesn't like a judge, he must be given at least 3 options at most for him to change judges. But a judge to remain in a case where the accused does not want, it shows something. We need judicial reforms to make it difficult for a sitting president to capture the judiciary. One of the reasons that the Kenyan democracy has grown thus far is because the judiciary has taken part in the building of democracy. Remember that famous ruling where they nullified the presidential election. If it was here, would it have happened? I remember in 2021 presidential petition, okay, BOBI Kyagulanyi wanted to bring more evidence and it was denied by Owinidor. Okay, remember our country has a background that we have every time we've gone to intercivil is because of an election. However much, even if it was late, if I was the Chief Justice, I would allow to bring more evidence so that even if I'm going to rule, it looks to be fair. But the judge denied BOBI to bring more evidence. Even when the contrary judge wanted to give a contrary decision, that is justice such, it was fought to an extent of putting him out of the judiciary. What is that institution? So we must check on our judiciary. We must get reforms. 70% of all the judges must be taken home because they don't know what they are doing. Even a class 3 dropout can know that we are not getting in the right direction. It's the truth. In fact, even Joyce, when you talked about this, he said these statements. Here's the tape.
Of course, are duty bound to respect any decision of court, but we don't agree with this decision at all. At all, because the judicial officer is saying all the bail conditions have been met. All the sureties stick, they've got all the documents, they are substantial and so on. But the judicial officer is saying, we don't trust that if these people are let out there, society will be safe. That's preposterous. Because these same people are out on bail over several other offenses. They were arrested in Kalangala and so on. Eventually they were freed on bail. They've been out there. Have they tried to disrupt those ongoing cases, if at all? Anyway, so as we have always said, this is not just a legal matter. This is politics at play. Because everybody knows the people who have been pursuing this matter, who are really behind this matter. And that's why the state, in conjunction with these fellows, they think that they will slow us down by holding these people behind bars. You remember in Kalangala, the Eddie Mutwes again, they were arrested, kept behind bars until the campaign season was done, because they thought that by doing that, they will demoralize us and the rest of the public. That's not going to happen. Good enough, the prisoners themselves have spoken and said, be encouraged. For us, we are strong because, we are innocent. Keep pushing, keep fighting. We shall eventually attain our freedom. And that's what we have got to do, not to allow for this to really beat us down. Because it is politics. And that's why, you remember we were here. Eddie Mutu and Achideo were abducted and taken to Kawempe. Because the state thought, just in case this judge grants these people bail, we should have another offense against them to further hold them behind bars. Because their quest is, let's demoralize them, let's cut down their speed. That's not going to happen. We will keep moving, we'll keep doing all that we have got to do. Of course.
So that is the leader of opposition talking about what is happening. And he has put a point straight home. First of all, for me, I think, I've done several videos on this, the reasons why these people are arrested, one, is to reduce on the size of BOBI Wine's entourage. Because we are going in an election, BOBI Wine moves with these people who are loyal. So if they arrest him from Achiro Chivumbi, bodyguard, Bobby Young, and now Eddie Mutwe, Chivumbi, Noah Mutwe, everyone, they demoralize the team around him. Two is to instill fear even on those who would want to be among the team. So when today I'm with Eddie Mutwe and tomorrow is taken to prison, if I'm not strong, I may fear. It's the reason why it takes courage for us people to come out and speak about these issues, because the system is playing crude politics against those who are contesting the regime. So they are holding these people in a bid to derail the revolution, to derail the campaign, to derail the power of BOBI Wine, not knowing that BOBI Wine is the idea whose time has come. BOBI Wine is not a person. BOBI Wine is a revolution. BOBI Wine is an idea that has come. They don't know that. Okay? And for me, I continue saying that shame on our judiciary, because it has not come out to be counted. Of course, that's my opinion. Remain yours truly, Mr. Makindi, Kabye Sulaiman Mawagari, the next MP for Makindi East constituency. I'll see you on another one. Peace.
Yes, Kabye Sulaiman Mawagari. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makindi East constituency, so that I can represent the great people of Makindi East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.